past few weeks and coming weeks is going to be the story of the Exodus, the Jews in Egypt, when God splits the sea and takes them out. And the way the exile began at the very beginning, Pharaoh turns to his advisors and he says, "This Jewish people, I just don't know. I'm concerned. Perhaps war will come our way, and they're going to join our enemies in attacking us." That's the allegation that he puts forth against the Jewish people. And he says, therefore, we need to deal with the Jewish problem. He chooses to enslave them. But his accusation, his concern, is that the Jewish people will turn against the Egyptians, which really is accusing them of a complete lack of gratitude. Because when you think back to the great famine that existed in the times of Jacob and Joseph, the Egyptians, the Pharaoh, welcomed with open arms Jacob and his whole family to come down. Pharaoh sent wagons to transport Jacob and said, "Don't bother bringing anything from home, I'll provide everything for you." And now there's this concern that the Jews will forget about the past, the good that was done to them, and turn against the hand that offered that help to them some years before. And that accusation against the Jewish people is baseless. As a matter of fact, the word Jew, Yehudi, comes from the word modeh, to give thanks. We're a people of gratitude. And I hope just to show you a few examples over the Exodus story where we see this lesson so profoundly. The first three plagues, which are mentioned in this week's Torah portion, the plague of blood, the Nile River is struck, turns to blood. All the fish die, becomes putrid. Who's the one who strikes the Nile River? You would think it's Moses. Moses was the miracle worker, the man of God. But Moses, excellent, Aaron is correct. Moses was not able to strike that river. Do you know why? Because when he was a little baby, and the Egyptians were trying to kill all the Jewish infants, his mother, Moses' mother, placed him in a little basket, and he had refuge. He had safety in the Nile River. The river was responsible for saving his life. He had had gratitude to a river, inanimate, not alive, but yet it saved his life. He couldn't strike that river and be the one to turn it into blood. The plague of frogs also emanated from the Nile River, and it was once again Aaron who struck the river. Moshe couldn't do it. It protected him when he was a baby. The third plague, lice. The dirt, all the dirt in Egypt turned to lice. The ground, the earth had once protected Moshe because one day Moshe leaves the palace to see the burden of his brethren. They're enslaved, they're being tormented by the Egyptians. And he sees an Egyptian taskmaster brutally beating a Jewish man. And he does away with the Egyptian, buries him in the dirt. The dirt is used to hide the body, which would have gotten him in serious trouble. He had to have gratitude to the dirt of the ground. He couldn't strike it and turn it into lice. I think the most powerful example is from the plague of darkness, and this idea comes from Rabbi Hirsch. There were two stages to the plague of darkness. The first stage was just dark. You know, I just went to a museum in September in Israel called the Museum of the Blind. And it's not a museum about blind people, but it's a museum where you go through it without the ability to see. And you feel your way through. And you walk out really appreciating the ability to see. And that's the way I envision the darkness in Egypt. You really can't see your hand in front of you. Those were the first 3 days of the plague. But it got worse from there. The next 3 days, the darkness had a thickness to it. It was palpable. You couldn't move. Egyptians were kind of locked, frozen in place. And the Jews could have used that time to take revenge against the Egyptians. They could have pillaged and looted and robbed the Egyptians silly, but they didn't. As a matter of fact, our sources tell us, for these 3 days when the Egyptians couldn't move, how did they eat? How did they drink? And it says the Jewish people remembered the kindness that was bestowed upon them generations ago when Pharaoh welcomed them into the country, took care of them in a time of need. And they went into the Egyptian homes and they fed them and they gave them drink. They displayed the true attributes of a Jew, of a Yehudi, having that gratitude. So Pharaoh's concerns, his accusations were proven to be false, baseless. As a matter of fact, after that plague, it says that the Jewish people were so respected by the Egyptians. The Egyptians were in awe of them. Because that's the legacy of the Jew, the Yehudi. We're a people that always remembers the good that was done for us, and we always do so. Thank you.